I'm Scott Smith.
And I'm Nicole Perbino. On Park Update this week, a $250,000 grant will help fund improvements to Louisiana Oaks Park.
St. Louis Park remembers longtime community member Lyle Hanks.
And we introduce viewers to a new feature we call Park Stars.
These top stories and more just ahead.
I taught here from '55 and into administration and left in 1991.
Lyle Hanks, an icon in the park for the better part of a half century, passed away on November 2nd at the age of 82. Services have been held. Hanks proudly spent 37 years in St. Louis Park as a teacher, coach, and administrator. For his dedication to athletics and academics, Lyle was inducted into the Elk River, St. Louis Park, and Hamline University Halls of Fame. Between 1971 and 1996, Lyle served 11 years on the St. Louis Park City Council and as mayor of St. Louis Park for 13 years. Lyle lived a great life and had a positive influence on so many people's lives. He loved what he did.
Anybody that went to school in St. Louis Park but in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and into the early 1990s knew Lyle Hanks. And so, yeah, Steve was one of them, I know. And my guess is that anybody that had any interaction with him, good, bad, or indifferent, was probably made better for it in some way.
He remembered his students and athletes with pride and took great delight in their successes. Mr. Hanks, as we called him, was my junior high algebra teacher, and he was a positive influence on my life.
The Hennepin County Board of Commissioners approved a $250,000 grant to the City of St. Louis Park to fund improvements to Louisiana Oaks Park. The county funds, matched equally by the city, will fund lighting for 3 fields, construction of a new picnic shelter, protective fencing, and trail improvements in the park. The Hennepin Youth Sports Program makes grants to local governments to support and expand youth sports and recreation. Since its inception in 2009, 6 grants totaling $673,400 have been awarded for improved facilities and equipment projects in St. Louis Park, including major improvements to Northside Park and now to Louisiana Oaks Park.
The St. Louis Park Senior High School Book Club held a discussion Tuesday night of Notes from the Midnight Driver.
A wonderful story and very compelling. Every year part of the reason that we do look for donations is that we purchase the books. We purchase as many books as we can of the main selection so that they can be distributed throughout St. Louis Park.
And the bookmark in the park selection for this and next year. The book is about a 16-year-old boy who is upset by his parents' divorce and is arrested for drunk driving. His punishment involves community service in a nursing home. The story includes realistic dialogue, funny situations, interesting plot twists, and plenty of heart. For more about Bookmark in the Park, here's their website, bookmarkinthepark.org.
The St. Louis Park Community Foundation's Give Back Day will be celebrating the community and giving back to it on Saturday, November 17th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Park Tavern, 3401 Louisiana Avenue South. Grant monies will be awarded to local nonprofits, and there will be free bowling, pizza, door prizes, and kids' activities. It's fun for the whole family, and make sure to mark your calendars.
St. Louis Park residents weighed in this week on planned improvements for the Highway 7 and Louisiana Avenue interchange project at an informational meeting. City staff and representatives from MnDOT presented final plans, explained construction sequencing, and the schedule at the meeting November 15th. The purpose of the project is to design a grade-separated interchange to replace the signalized intersection at Highway 7 and Louisiana Avenue. The City Council is expected to grant project approval at its December 3rd council meeting, and construction is slated to begin next year. If you missed the meeting, visit stlouispark.org for project details. Comments on the plans will be accepted through November 22nd. Next, Nicole has stories and events for the very young and the very young at heart we call Generations.
The St. Louis Park Senior Program will be touring the historic Hennepin Theater on Monday, November 26th at 9:15 a.m., and lunch at Murray's will follow the tour. Registration is required for most programs, so be sure to call 952-928-6444 for more information, or register in person at Lennox Community Center, 6715 Minnetonka Boulevard. Elvis Meets Shakespeare in the St. Louis Park High School fall musical production, All Shook Up. Shows are November 16th through 18th, Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. Tickets are $10 for adults and $7 for students and senior citizens. Enjoy dancing, crafts, and games at the Peter Hobart's Family Fun Night. The free event will be held on Friday, November 16th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the St. Louis Park Middle School. Pizza, fruit, veggies, and cookies will be served, and please be sure to bring a non-perishable food item for Peter Hobart's Pack the Backpack program.
In council news, after more than a half year of study and deliberations, the Community Recreation Facility Task Force provided its recommendation to the City Council this week. The group was charged to consider community input received from previous surveys, gather additional information and input, and make recommendations to the City Council regarding the addition of future recreation facilities or programs. As a part of this process, the task force was also asked to look at possible partnerships and locations. The task force recommended the council consider a facility or facilities that would equal nearly 70,000 square feet. Recommended programming components such as gymnasium, drop-in childcare, an indoor pool and water play area, a walking track, indoor playground equipment, and more were also included. The group also identified 5 potential locations for the future facility, including a couple of options near the rec center. The City Council received the report and is expected to consider next steps at a future council meeting. In other council news this week, city staff summarized for council members the recently published Southwest Transitway Draft Environmental Impact Statement, also called the DEIS. Staff has identified half a dozen themes from the 1,000-page document that it believes council should focus on for its comments on the draft. Staff especially indicated that the conclusions for rerouting freight trail traffic to the MNS corridor appear to be unsupported in the data provided. Staff recommended that the city request in its comments that the responsible agencies fairly and evenly evaluate the 2 freight rail alternatives and truly consider the impacts and costs to make the right decision for the community at large. In related news, Hennepin County held its second of 3 public hearings on the DEIS in St. Louis Park on Wednesday. The meeting, which was preceded by a demonstration by freight rail relocation opponents, allowed the public to comment on the plan. The City Council is expected to discuss its formal comments in at least one more study session in November prior to finalizing comments in early December. You can view the DEIS online by visiting stlouispark.org. Up next, Mike Rose is here with the Sports Update.
You've probably noticed the new look to Park Update, and today we're introducing a new sports segment called Park Stars. Park Stars will look at some of the best and brightest student athletes at both St. Louis Park High School and Benilde St. Margaret's. Athletes featured in Park Stars will excel not only at their sport, but in the classroom or community too. Our first Park Star is DJ Pollard, a senior at St. Louis Park High School who plays football and basketball. But that's just the beginning for DJ. As you'll hear, he's a young man with lofty career goals.
It felt pretty good to be the offensive MVP. It's really cool just because I was kind of skeptical in the first place to come out with me focusing on basketball during the summer. It just felt good because it showed that my teammates noticed like the work that I'd done over the season and just the success I'd had, and so just was a good feeling. As a team, I have really high expectations. We are returning everyone plus a varsity player on another team. We will finish 4th in the conference, and I expect us to finish 1st. We've got a great chance, one of the best chances we've had in recent years, and I'm also expecting us to make a deep run in this section, hopefully make it to state. After high school, I'm committing to Northern State for basketball. It's a Division II school in South Dakota. And in terms of studying, I want to major in biology as of right now. So I'm pretty excited about my future right now.
Know your own Park Star? Be sure to email us with nominees at parkupdate@stlouispark.org. Just tell us why your nominee is truly a star. A number of local swimmers and divers will be going for state championships this weekend. St. Louis Park High School senior Catherine Ostrom highlights the pack as she has her sights set on a 3rd straight Class A championship in the 100-yard breaststroke. Ostrom will also compete in the 200-yard individual medley. Also competing for St. Louis Park is senior Hannah Hine. Hine will match up with her teammate Ostrom in the 200 IM. Hine is also competing in the 100-yard backstroke. Rounding out the Oriole field is sophomore Emmy Zhang, who will compete in the 100 breaststroke. As a team, St. Louis Park will race in the 200-yard medley and the 400-yard freestyle relay. Benilde St. Margaret's is also well represented, with 7 athletes competing in 11 events. The Red Knights will race as a team in the 200 freestyle relay, the 400 freestyle relay, and the 200 medley relay. Finally in sports, Jack Jablonski received a big honor over the weekend. The Benilde St. Margaret's Jr. was named a 2012 Courage in Sports America's Choice honoree during a Sunday broadcast on CBS. Jablonski sustained a serious spinal cord injury during a hockey game last December and has not walked since. But Jack has been working hard at the Courage Center in Golden Valley and has been able to stand with assistance and use his arms. After winning the award, Jack told the Star Tribune, quote, "It drives me to do the best that I can, knowing people are out there to support me. Way to go, Jack." I'm Mike Rose, and that's your sports update in the park.
Well, that's it for this week's Park Update. Thank you for watching. Now be sure you take some time to get out and experience life in the park. We will be off next week for the Thanksgiving holiday and return on November 29th. We leave you this week with a few words from Lyle Hanks' last interview with Park TV's Reg Dunlap.
Yeah, I was mayor for 13 years, and on the council 11 more, total of 24.
You live in St. Louis Park again now, at least in the summer.
No, when I left in 96, they hadn't done all the building they've done now. So we are in Greenbrier and Minnetonka, but we're looking at some of the places here now, so who knows where we'll end up. Housing inspection wasn't popular, but I think it's done a great job here. The schools have done a great job. Overall, the Excelsior Boulevard development speaks for itself. I think the West End speaks for itself. I don't know any other suburb that's done so much. Thanks probably to the people that followed me.